You know, before I'm firing up a cigar, so you have to excuse me. Before before I get to the meat of this video, there's a few things that I need to say up front that will serve as the introduction to this masterpiece. You know what it is by now. I'm currently winding up, if you will, my March Madness set of trilogies in the rabbit hole. If you haven't seen them, you know what it is. Send me an email, I'll send you the link. And you've seen the title of this video. And I had no intention on producing another set of trilogies for the whole, but due to circumstances out of my control, I am led to produce a hate speech trilogy, of which I'm going to address this entire situation. But y'all have to know that's going to be done in the whole. Y'all got to know this. You have to know it's coming. And you know what it is. If you want to see the trilogy dealing with this censorship and hate speech that's going around, send me an email. I'll send you the link to that set of trilogies in the rabbit hole as well. But the other day I got a lot of emails. I got a couple of tweets from some people. And they were informing me, if you will, as to this list. I guess it's hit list, I don't know, of YouTube content creators. Y'all already know the background. I mean, I'm just doing this for the sake of the video, but y'all pretty much already know what I'm talking about. And a lot of guys who contacted me were surprised. I mean, they were, as I read their comments, it was as if they were shocked that this was happening. And that really rubbed me the wrong way. And the reason why that rubbed me the wrong way is because I have to come back and I have to ask those brothers, haven't y'all been listening to me? Haven't I told y'all in video after video after video that I have produced? Haven't I told y'all that you are not allowed, under no set of circumstances, can you offer, no matter how fair and balanced that critique is? I told y'all this. I've said this in videos. You are not allowed to critique black women. You just can't do it. It's not allowed. You can present a fair and balanced assessment. It's just not allowed. I told y'all this. I've made a video called The Untouchables. Not even, hell, I think I made that video during Black History Month. So it's not even been 2 months when I made that video on the Untouchables, the Negro Untouchables rather, of which I included the black female because, again, you can't critique her. You just can't. And now y'all see why I say that. And now you also see, because I've had people ask me this, excuse me, I've had people ask me this, why do you do your rabbit holes? Why do you make those videos? Why do you do them like that? Now y'all see why. I mean, I tell people, listen, there's a method to my madness. You know, I don't do anything just for the simple fact of just doing it. There's a method behind why I do what I do. I understood this was going to come down the pipe. I knew this. I knew this was going to happen. That's the reason why I created my illustrious, delicious, delectable rabbit hole content and series. I knew this was coming. It's not taking me by surprise. Now, what's surprising me is that brothers who listen to my content, this is surprising to them. And that kind of rubs me the wrong way, because I have to come back and ask them, "Look, dude, haven't you been listening?" And I'm not talking about the brothers who just gave me a heads up. That's to be appreciated. That's to be, look, hey, good looking out. I'm not talking about y'all. But I got all these responses from individuals, and they were talking about this list, this hit list. And I told them, well, why did this just surprise y'all? I done a video, and I don't even know what the title of the video was, but I made a video, and I outlined for y'all the interesting timing of all of this, because it's very interesting that the timing in all of this centers around the soon premiere of The Bachelorette, a program that many people know is going to be fodder for black men. It's going to be everybody's going to critique this. Everybody's going to have something to say about this. Everybody knows this. So I think it's kind of interesting when you look at the timing and you pay attention to the fact that soon, I believe it's May, I don't know what the exact date is, but sometime in mid-May is when that premiere, that show, that minstrel show starts. And all of this is a precursor to that minstrel show. And I listen, I made videos and I've given y'all the formation of the play. I told y'all the formation it was going to run. I even given y'all the snap count. I told y'all who's going to get the ball. I said this in videos. That's the reason why it doesn't take me by surprise when I see this coming down the pipe. I knew this. I've studied enough film to know what play they're going to run. And since I've studied enough film on them to know what play they're going to run, that is the reason why you have the creation of my masterful, delectable, irrefutable, classic Rabbit Hole series. Because what you have is you have basic censorship. That's what this is. I mean, make no mistakes about it. That's what it is. And I've told people, and when I said this in videos, it got black men upset because, again, they don't have the ability to really grasp this concept. But I made videos where I told y'all I will stand shoulder to shoulder with the Klan and with skinheads, defending their right to say whatever it is they have to say. I will defend them. I will stand with them, defending their right. And when I made videos saying that, you have black men, you're Uncle Tom, you're a sellout, how can you defend the family? It has nothing to do with defending the Klan. It has nothing to do with defending skinheads. It has everything to do with supporting freedom of speech. It has everything to do with supporting someone's right to say what they have to say and not having that shut down. And the reason why I will support their right is because I don't want nobody trying to take mine. So every brother that's on that list, every last one of them, and some of them I ideologically disagree with, but yet and still, every brother that's on that list, I will stand shoulder to shoulder with them, defending their right to create their content and not have that content flagged or removed because of some alleged hate speech, which is a very ambiguous term. I mean, it depends upon the person that's reviewing the content. It's ambiguous. You can create a video and 5 people can look at that video. 3 will say it's not hate speech. 2 will say that it is. And the reason why is because it is an ambiguous term. It is left upon interpretation, and that interpretation comes from that person's personal experiences. So because there's such ambiguity around this so-called hate speech, this is what makes it a roll of the dice. So if you don't want your content, and this is what I told black men, if you want your content getting caught up in that, then you got to create alternative ways to get your message out. i.e. the rabbit hole. That's why I do it. That's why it's done this way. And again, I've had people criticize me. I never say anything. Because I know the play, I know the formation, I know the snap count. I don't know when they're going to run it. That's just like studying film for football. You don't know when they're going to run that play, but God damn it, you know if you study the film, they're going to run that play. And they're going to run that play out of this formation. And if you study enough film, when you see that formation, you will know exactly what's coming down the pipe. So I knew by studying film, this is the play they're going to run. I don't know when it's going to be ran, but I know it's going to be ran. So when it started to get implemented, it didn't surprise me none. It surprised me at all. I expected it. This is what you call an inquisition. This is what you call trying to squash out dissenting views. That's what the whole purpose of the Inquisition was. Again, this is stuff I've done videos on. I've done videos talking about the Negro Inquisition, which is no different than the Inquisition in Europe. And if you had people who were accused of being heretics or accused of teaching heresy or writing heresy, they were brought before a tribunal, just like a court. Well, it was a literal court. And the charges was presented, and there was a session that was held, and if that individual was found guilty of heresy or being a heretic, they were tortured until they recanted whatever it is that they wrote, said, or taught. This helped to shape the thinking of Europe, to force people into a particular way of thinking. So any dissenting views, you're not going to have those, because why? I can be accused of being a heretic, and I know the results. If that happens, I'm going to be tortured. No different than the Salem witch hunts. The last thing a woman wanted to be accused of was being a witch. I mean, that's literally a death sentence. So any woman that was accused of being a witch, she already know what was coming. Then again, she was tried, and once she was found guilty, they tortured. Well, that torture, some of them, they burned them at the stake. And this is what you have at a smaller degree, not to that extent, obviously, but it still is a design to stamp out dissenting opinions. No matter how fair and balanced those opinions are. No matter how well documented those opinions are. If they are opinions that people don't like, they're going to charge you of being a heretic or teaching heresy, or you're a witch. And today, using this analogy, it's hate speech. It's the same difference. And once you are accused of teaching or preaching hate in your videos, you're going to be brought before the YouTube tribunal, and we already know the results if whoever reviews that video deems that it's hate. I've done videos on this. I mean, this is the reason why I don't understand why this is surprising to some people. People are looking at it like, oh my God, can you believe what these women are doing? Yeah. I tried to tell y'all this was coming. And when I had people criticize me, people would send me emails criticizing me, leaving comments in my comment thread, criticizing me on how I done my rabbit holes, because they didn't understand. I didn't try to explain it to them. But y'all see now why. Y'all see it. It's understood now. Now you understand why. Yeah, because at that point, I didn't even waste my time trying to explain it, because I knew they're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. But I knew this play was going to be ran. And let me tell you, brother, something. Let me tell you black men something. Sitting here in my office, puffing on this stogie, sipping on some coffee. Let me sit that there. And by the way, listen, if you want to smoke a cigar that is better than sex, you have to smoke you a CAO Brazil. I mean, that, oh my God, that Maduro, man, listen. But anyway, let me tell you, brother, something. I've told you, brothers, in many of my videos, hey, listen, guys, y'all need to cut that bullshit. I've said this so many times, I'm blue in the face saying it, about you black men bickering back and forth with one another, trying to destroy each other, pulling guns out on each other in videos, going to Facebook, getting pictures of family members talking about them, dropping documents on each other. I've been made videos telling you, brother, man, y'all need to cut that bullshit out. And now you can see firsthand that if there's ever a time that you brothers need to put aside y'all petty differences and band together, it is now. It's now. Because this, I've seen videos, people say, well, this is a civil war. No, it's not a civil war. This is an inquisition. That's what this is. No, it's not a civil war. It is an inquisition. And you have dissenting opinions, positions that are not popular, who are being targeted simply for that reason. That's an inquisition. That's censorship. That's what you have coming down the pipe. So now is an opportunity for you brothers, no matter what y'all differences was, to understand that y'all have a common foe. And y'all need to unite around that. It's the same thing Malcolm tried to tell y'all. When Malcolm said, listen, man, we got to put aside our petty differences. We're not going to discuss religion, because if we bring up religion in a meeting, everybody's going to be at everybody's throat. You're going to have Baptists against Muslims. You're going to have atheists. No, we're going to all be arguing over religion. So we keep religion at home in the closet. We ain't going to even bring that up in the meeting. And we unite around what we have in common. A common theme, a common foe. That's what we unite against. And that's the same for you brothers. Uniting around what y'all all have in common. And that is that y'all are being targeted for your content. This is an inquisition. This is not a civil war. And anybody who calls it that just doesn't understand the magnitude of what's going on. You just don't. I mean, you need to trash that video, because it doesn't even fit the narrative of what's going on. And let me tell you, brothers, something else. Because this is the crux. This is the fix that you find yourself in as a black man. This is where you at. Do not deceive yourself. Do not make the crucial error in judgment in thinking that every one of these videos are being flagged by black women. Don't make that mistake. Don't do that. I'm telling you, do not do that. If you do that, you're making a calculated error. And the reason why I say that, a lot of these videos, a lot of these channels are being flagged by black men. Oh, yes, they are. This is the fix that you're in. You're catching it up from both sides. So don't think, oh, this is all just black. No, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't you believe that. Do not be that naive into thinking that this is all. Now we know the ones who are the ring leaders. We know this. But you have a lot of foot soldiers. And do not make the calculated error in judgment in thinking that it's all women. No, it's not. Some of these videos are being flagged by black men. This is what you have to understand. This is what you have to grasp. If you make that mistake into believing that this is all sisters, you're making an error. I'm telling you, you're going to err in your judgment. This comes as no surprise to me. It doesn't shock me. I knew this was coming down the pipe. That's the reason why I went about the business of creating an alternative site that eventually will be parlayed into what I want to do with my private videos. is put them on a pay-per-view basis. That's where I'm headed. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I understand the nature of my content, the nature of that hard-hitting content, and how many people will be butthurt over it, and understanding that you have an inquisition taking place. And what's being done is that you have YouTube videos that are being equated with, and I read this petition. Some of y'all read it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And opinions in YouTube videos are being accused of black women going missing, black women being sold into slavery. And I'm thinking to myself, now this is an educated female. How could she make such a leap? I mean, it's the same argument. If y'all remember, I've been saying this. It's the same argument that I had with the pro-blacks. When they would call people coons because they didn't agree with the pro-black. And I asked them, who died and left you in charge, whereby your opinion is the opinion for blackness? If you tell me who that was, I'll fall in line. But if you cannot tell me who it was that gave your opinion the mantle for being the barometer for blackness, meaning that if we agree with you, then we're black and we love black people. But if we disagree with you, then we're coons and we hate ourselves. Who gave your opinion that kind of authority? And we know nobody can answer that question because it doesn't have an answer. At the end of the day, it just boils down to an opinion. But yet and still, this is the same argument that I have for these sisters. I mean, you want me to believe that guys making YouTube videos giving their opinion now in a video. Now, keep in mind, you have a whole litany of equally offensive videos towards black men. But those aren't targeted. That's not considered hate speech. A black female can sit on a black woman's platform in a Google Hangout and tell other black women that if you are pregnant and you find out that you're going to have a son, abort that baby. Now that's done on a black female's platform, black woman saying it, but that's not hate speech. So I asked the black woman, well, how is it that a black man giving his opinion in a video is the major theme that has shaped the image of black women? Black women's image has been shaped by what's being said in YouTube videos. So since this is so damaging, this is the major problem that we face, that black women face as an ethnicity or as a gender, is YouTube videos. So we want to put a petition together. We want to target those videos because that's the reason why black women are viewed the way that they are in the broader context. And that's the reason, not what goes on Love and Hip Hop, not what black women do in these rap videos, not what they do in any one of these minstrel shows that they call reality shows. You got black women fighting, black women pulling out each other's weave, but y'all seen it. All of that behavior has nothing to do with the behavior or the image of black women. No, that has no effect. And the reason why we know it has no effect is because there's no petitions trying to shut that down. There's no petitions trying to get that removed off the networks. There's nothing being done or said about that. But what's being done and said about is people on a YouTube platform making YouTube videos, giving their opinion. Now that's the major problem that we face as a gender. We got to shut this down. Let's sign this petition. Can you see the hypocrisy? Can you see the utter hypocrisy? This is the reason why I say you can't take it serious. You just can't. And brothers need to understand, as I've been trying to tell y'all, this is coming. I gave y'all the formation. I gave y'all the play. I told y'all they gonna run this. I didn't know what quarter they were gonna run it in. I didn't know which quarter. But I knew it was coming. I knew this is a play that was gonna be ran. And now we see it's being implemented. And a lot of you brothers are being taken by surprise. This didn't take me by surprise. And the reason why it didn't take me by surprise is because I've studied enough to know this is coming. And that is the reason why I'll say one more again, I created my Masterful Rabbit Hole series. If you want to see the newest trilogy dealing with this hate speech, I'm going in the hole with it. Email, I'll send you the link.